Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while since I put out a new video. It's been a long while since I put out a video on my secondary layout, Violet Alley. So today that's what we're going to look at. So today is sort of a combination layout overview and layout update with a little operations thrown in. So as for the layout overview, this time I'm going to show a little bit of the construction, the bench work that I used. If you go back to last year, you could see more information on the area that I modeled, the specific prototype. I'm also going to update you on some of the progress I made on the structures and the scenery. And as for the operations, I want to show you how I've been running this with the Soundtraxx Blunami decoder and a simple wall wart and no DCC system. So with that, let's get started. So before we take a look underneath the layout, let's just take a look at the dimensions on top of the layout. So the layout sits outside my main layout room in the corner of my finished basement. It's roughly, from this point where City Fibers is, 12 feet long, down to that corner there, by 5 feet right there. And you can see the main layout rooms back there. So 12 by 5, but the total depth is about, probably averages 18 inches. You can see that side there, it's about 18, and it kind of narrows as it curves. And as we get over here, it hits 2 feet out, 24 inches right here where the street ends. And then here is 30 inches, but it's just more to hold the structure. There's going to be a street right in front of it. But as far as the track sits at about a foot from the wall where the boxcars are all the way. So most of the rest of this is just scenery. It's just kind of, I guess it would sort of be wasted space, but it's more scenic space. So I used Code 70 Microengineering track, and I have 2 turnouts. One is right there to hold like the storage track and the switching track. And then I have a second under the bridge, because at one point, we'll talk about it, I was planning on having a salvage yard right there. However, I decided to take that out, but I did leave the turnout and just gave the impression of track that has been torn up. All right, so I took the camera off the tripod, so hopefully I can keep this steady. So the bench work is 1/4 inch MDF right here with 1 inch foam insulation on top of that 1/4 inch MDF. And it sits on 1x3s or 1x4s maybe on the shelf brackets. And what I did is I cut down the shelf brackets with a hacksaw to make it so it looks like it's floating, so you can see down the whole way. Now this one is a kind of a normal shelf bracket here because you can't see it. So let's go. And the same down here is a normal shelf bracket because that's kind of covered by where I thought I was going to have a kind of lift up storage, or lift up staging, sorry. And there's one there too, but you can't see it with the fascia. And the fascia is 1/8 inch masonite or hardboard. It's kind of smooth and shiny on one side and rough on the other. And currently it's painted a flat black cheap paint, and as you might be able to see, it's all scuffed up. So I'm going to repaint it semi-gloss, nice paint, and you won't get all this scuffing. But I'm just going to wait till I was done with the scenery and then finish the fascia over here. So now I'm at in the other, just inside the other layout room, and I'm just showing you, I have an NCE DCC system, and I use it for the main layout. And what I did is I drilled a hole through the wall here. As you can see over here, it comes out right there. And my main bus line runs here. And then I have like 3-4 sets of feeder wires coming down. So you don't really need that much. Just I had this I have because I had a turnout there, but I don't use it anymore. So what I do, or can do, is just plug this in when I want to run this layout, and then turn on the DCC system. So that way, if I'm running the main layout, I don't have to have this one on as well. But later I'll show you a new way that I have wired it up. So now I'll go over some of the updates I've done on the structures. So we're going to start down here at City Fibers, which is the only rail-served industry on the prototype line, as well as my model of the prototype. So here's a picture of how it looked roughly a year ago, when it was just foam board and blue tack. So here's how it looks right now. It probably looks very similar, but this is actually gator board here, a gator board base, gator board sides, and I've started gluing in the aluminum supports there. The roof piece is still a foam board, which I'll going to cut out the gator board and then put the roof material on top of it. And I started messing with the front there, but that's another story for another day. So now I'm going to take the top off the roof and show you the inside. So there's the inside. You can see I have some aluminum bar supporting the structure, the walls, and also that will support the roof. If I pull this down here, you can see it right there. Get a better look in here. So basically I super glued this onto the gator foam, both everywhere, same as here. And then I will super glue all of it together, more towards the end when I get the roof ready. And then on the outside, I still have to build the kind of office structures and different kind of offices. I'll flip a picture in to show you what the prototype looks like. So that's City Fibers. So the next structure is Angelus Mill Supply, as the sign says here. So this structure, last time, I'll show you how it looked then. And here's how it is now. The side probably looks very similar. It's just the wallpaper, but it's on styrene now. The roof is totally different. Obviously, it's pretty much complete. The roof is all complete, actually. I do have a few minor details on the structure I want to put, so you might be able to see there's a gutter here. That's just on the photo that I want to put like a styrene piece there, and maybe also these the door tracks right there, and maybe even the door, make it kind of 3D. Make a photo of the door and hang it there. So I'd say it's about 90% done now. It's still, let's see, I can pull the roof off. Actually, I'll show you the inside of this one as well. So hopefully you can see the inside of this one. It's a combination of PVC board for the base, which you can barely see, and then some of these supports like this here, and And there's actually one on each of these little roof supports right there. And then what actually supports the roof is gator foam board, gator board. I cut to the, just made some templates and cut them all the same, tried to, and same with down here. And glued them together, super glued them, and the roof sits on that. And then if I take the, there it fell. So that's just styrene with the photo wallpaper on it. So I got the photo from Google Maps. You can go to Google Maps and Google Street View and see this building over the years. It's got different levels of tagging, and older pictures it shows no tagging. But I just saved some snips of it, took it to Photoshop, and basically just worked a little bit in Photoshop and printed it out on photo paper, glued it to styrene. It's not too hard. Just got to mess around with the photo software a little bit. This should give you a little bit better view of the PVC board base. It does a great job of simulating concrete. See, I just took some of just kind of chipped away at it with a file there to make it look distressed, and then it takes paint really very well. So as you can see, I'm going to put a decal of this, some tagging on there, but so yeah, that's a PVC board base, and then I have a kind of an awning there that I'm playing around with still. So the next building is what I call the brick building. In my last update a year ago, I had an ITLA kit kind of shown there, or talked about it at least. I think I'm going to use that in the main layout, and I'm going to make this more like the prototype size, which this is actually a photo wallpaper on foam board here of the prototype. Actually, the best I could do, because I could, on Google Street View, I got this angle here, and then all I did is, if you see, I just mirror image this side, so it's all backwards there. Look at the graffiti. It's kind of hard to tell unless I told you, but so as far as the building, I think I'm gonna make it kind of a old style sawtooth roof kit, sawtooth roof building, and kind of make it try to look like this with the kind of, it's blocked up, or they covered up the windows with something concrete or stucco or something. But I'm still kind of deciding. I'm going to worry about some of these other buildings first before I decide. This is, again, non-rail served at this time. It's got several doors, so it used to be rail served on Violet Alley a long time ago. So this final structure has probably changed the most since the last video. In the last video, I talked about putting a scrapyard with a track here coming off a turnout under the bridge. Since I'm doing a scrapyard now in the main layout, I decided to just make this a tall commercial tip-up concrete building. So this building is modeled using the Walthers concrete warehouse kit, or parts of it. I have several of them. They just work very well for this area. So what you're looking at is, again, I got, like, from Google Street View, I could get a decent shot of the graffiti that's on this, or was on this wall at some point. Made my own decals of it, and this wall was actually, this one with the blue line was actually a structure on my old layout. So I test fitted, or was playing around with the decals and put them on this, and if it looked good, I was probably just going to use it. But I don't know if you could see, but there's some red kind of bled down from the back of the decals a little bit. It kind of looks, the color's a little off. I'm not a big fan of it. Kind of use this as my practice piece, and I will take this wall off and show you what I have done or will do for this one. And so here is the updated version. It's a little closer to the prototype in that there's multiple colors of brown or tan on this structure. And also I think it might help hide any of some of the decal bleed if I'm going to get that again. So when I redid this front, and I actually had a terrible idea, but I thought it was good at the time, of painting. I used white before on the back of a section of this to have the white decal show better. Well, for some reason, or I thought about doing the same for the black, which would have been great just for the outlines. If you see this, see the outlines are in black. However, I wasn't thinking clearly, apparently, and painted the whole, pretty much the whole section black. When I put the first decal on, you couldn't even see the green whatsoever. So I knew that I had had a small failure. So quickly I got some IPA and just wiped it all down. And it actually, it's kind of a Bob Ross happy accident. It looks like that they kind of wiped all the graffiti off the wall, actually, which is kind of cool. So I could leave it like that, but I think I'm just gonna, I still have decals. I made several copies of those, and I'm gonna try putting them back on here. But anyway, that's was a good, like, happy accident. Like I said, a good way to make it look like graffiti got sandblasted off. So the final structure on this layout is the Santa Fe Street overpass, which I had, it was pretty much done last time I had the video, but I made some, kind of just cut these decals off the decal sheet I made for that building and just stuck them here on the kind of the supports. But yeah, like I said, this was already basically done from before. So now I'm going to show you some of the scenery things that I have done on this layout. So the most obvious change to the layout is probably the fact that I put some scenery down, or quite a bit actually. That's the advantage of a small layout like this, is maybe an hour or two of scenery and you're basically done with it, or quite a bit done with it. So as you can see here, I have some little kind of dirt hills. I think I might have talked about these before. These are kind of paper mache that I built up. The prototype, there's some dirt hills and piles left over. Probably, I don't know if it was from when they built the overpass or what. But then also, so then I started messing, or put the ground cover down, which is various colors of grout, kind of blended together, also with some small ballast, N scale Arizona rock and mineral ballast in spots. You can see I made some grass tufts and also put a few of those down. I was just kind of messing around with them. I still have quite a few more to put. There's not a whole lot of grass in this area. It's mostly just dried up dirt and mud, but I think under the bridge here, there seems to be quite a bit of foliage. I think probably because it's shaded maybe, and maybe when it rains, water goes down there. But I'm planning on putting some kind of creeping out under the bridge, and then out here, maybe some grass or dead grass kind of on part of it. Also, I ballasted all the track. This section of track, the spur, is not on roadbed. However, you can see back here, the Alameda Corridor tracks are on roadbed, and it's a little different shade of ballast, and it's more manicured. Here's a little better view of some of the scenery work. So these tracks here, they're kind of just in the dirt. I did not use ballast, I just used grout in between the tracks. As you can see, maybe. And I think there might be a little ballast, just N scale sprinkled in to give it some texture. And then over here, it's kind of a gravel area where people park their cars. I don't know if it's workers for these buildings or whatnot, but that area is grout. And then I have some N scale ballast kind of going up, meeting the sidewalk here, so it didn't look so stark. And then you could see that kind of, I think it might have actually put some HO and N scale ballast here to kind of simulate the gravel parking lot. And again, I made some tufts. So these are just kind of putting them down here for now until I permanently adhere them. And I got to gluing down all the streets, tracks glued down. That's pretty much it, I guess, as far as the scenery updates. So let's show you what I'm doing with the Blunami. So now I want to show you how I can run this layout without a DCC system, utilizing the Soundtraxx Blunami decoders, which are just Tsunami 2 decoders with the Bluetooth chip inside. So you just need track power. You can run Blunami on a DC system or just a powered track. So I took a power supply, 12 volt power supply. So yeah, I just cut the end off of the power supply and strip the wires. It doesn't matter positive or negative with this, you just hook one up to one red, or hook one up to the red and one up to the black. And this I then plugged into my track power bus, but I could also just take alligator clips and hook it up to the track if I wanted right there. It might not be as good because obviously the bus is carrying power to the feeders versus hooking it, right here. It might not work as well. So yeah, I could just plug it in here and run my locomotive. So now I have to get my other phone, my old phone, to show you running the Blunami as this phone films it. All right, so I have my old phone. Open the Blunami app. I'm going to turn the power on. So yeah, that's basically running a switching layout with no DCC system. So anyway, that is the layout update for Violet Alley. I am also working on a layout update for the Vernon and South LA layout, the main one. Should have that probably next week. And that's it. Thanks for watching.